Hey spooky friends, we're on day 9 of our 31 days of horror movie villains, and today we're talking about the Snow Queen herself, Jennifer Check. We begin. If you like horror movie and pop culture content, give your girl a follow. Jennifer Check is a 16-year-old girl portrayed by Megan Fox in the movie Jennifer's Body. She's a teenage girl turned into a demonic succubus. There's valid arguments on whether she actually is the villain or a victim. At the beginning of the movie, we meet Needy and Jennifer. They are best friends, and you can tell that their friendship is kind of toxic. Jennifer is not always the nicest to Needy, and she kind of uses her to make her feel better about herself. Jennifer is kind of insecure. She does things to make herself thinner. She uses her sexuality to kind of make herself feel better. She's clearly a very popular person. She was the snowflake queen after all, and she clearly does well in the school, but she deals with a lot of insecurities. And Needy seems to have more than friendly feelings for her, but there's just a lot of toxicity there. Jennifer convinces Needy to go to a bar because a band called Low Shoulder is going to be playing there, and she thinks that the lead singer is cute. Jennifer meets the lead singer, and she almost seems like she's fixated on him. So while he's playing on stage, she's just like in a trance. And a fire unexplainably breaks out at the bar, and Needy is able to get Jennifer out of the bar. The lead singer comes up and convinces Jennifer to get in his van with his other bandmates. And even though Needy is begging her not to get in this van, Jennifer does so anyway. And she realizes that there's a bunch of occult items in the van, and she assumes that these guys are probably going to take her somewhere and assault her. What she doesn't know is that they wanted to get a virgin in order to sacrifice her to the devil so that they would have great fame and fortune. But in the car, they ask about her virginity, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm a virgin, but she's actually not. And so when they do the ritual, it doesn't quite go the way that they expect. Ritual can still be successful if they're not sacrificing a virgin, but because she's not a virgin, a demonic entity goes inside of her body. She becomes a succubus that feeds on men. Here she arrives at Needy's house, and she's trying to eat because she's very hungry, but the human food that she's eating makes her sick. And she almost eats Needy, but she stops herself and she goes outside and she ends up eating another classmate. And then in the morning she shows up and she looks great. She kind of gaslights Needy into making her feel crazy, and later on we see her eat another boy at school. We learn that as a succubus she has all these crazy powers, but in between feeding she gets weaker and weaker until she eats another human. But we see Jennifer, she's able to kind of use her sexuality in order to get these guys to follow her into terrible situations, and she feeds off of them. But while she's doing so, Needy is doing research and she learns more and more about the situation. And there's parts in the film where Jennifer is kind of toying with Needy. They even share a kiss at one moment. Jennifer understands that Needy does feel certain things about her, and everything comes to a head when Jennifer convinces Needy's boyfriend to come to an abandoned pool. He arrives and they have this big confrontation where they kind of talk about all the toxic things in their friendship. Chip is able to hurt her. Instead of regenerating immediately, she leaves to go lay down at home. While she's at home, Needy comes to the window and stabs her in the heart with a box cutter. She learns that the demonic entity can be killed if you're stabbed through the heart. Jennifer herself doesn't have that high of a kill count. She's only killed 4 people. She's not necessarily the villain. A sad 16-year-old girl that got caught up in a terrible situation when she was just trying to grow up too fast.